Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, coming to you with episode 5 of the Adventures of Alolan Ninetales. I want to mention before we get started that I will be doing a review video as the next video in this series, probably released on Monday, and in that video I'll incorporate my own judgments as to what could have been done better, but I'll also include comments, things that other people point out to me. And whoever points out the most important, the most useful comments, correction, etc., will get a free copy of Alolan Ninetales-GX on PTCGO. So with that, we'll go ahead and get some matches. Okay, so we see colorless and water, so that could be Greninja, could be Alolan Ninetales not playing Lele, could be like with Shaman or something. It's probably Greninja though. I guess maybe a Quad Lapras with a colorless tech. We'll be giving up a mulligan, but since we're likely against Greninja, maybe we'll get one back. Nope, looks like they have a Pokemon. Okay, well let's see how this goes. And okay. Well, now we get a pretty decent start with 3 Pokemon, including one Remoraid and then an N in hand. So that's pretty decent for us. We'd prefer to have an energy as well, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. We only gave up 1 mulligan, and we're against Talonflame Greninja. Okay. We didn't see Fire type, so we know that they aren't playing the Talonflame Break, though it wouldn't be very relevant anyway. And they didn't really do anything. So I'm almost tempted not to play in, but we'll go ahead. It's not worth slowing our setup down just in case they're slowing theirs down. We went ahead and attached the Choice Band because we don't want it. We don't need it for this match, so getting rid of it is kind of good. We've got another N to back us up for next hand. So we could Ultra Ball away the energy, but there's kind of no need because we don't have another energy to attach anyway. And here I attached to the bench, and oh, went to click done because it seemed like our opponent they did so little on their first turn that I forgot that it wasn't our turn. Okay, so yeah, we want a beacon for Octillery and a Ninetales. Our opponent will probably end those away, but you never know. In retrospect, it was kind of a mistake to attach the energy to the bench here in this particular matchup, because attaching to the bench means we have to get the active Pokemon out of the active. So that's sort of not great. It means we have to take an extra turn to attach energy before we attack, and we aren't likely to be threatened for several turns. I mean, worst case scenario, he is unable to get a Frogadier, and we lose an energy due to dropping a KO on an active Vulpix that we haven't been able to evolve for multiple turns. But that rarely happens these days. So yeah, in fact, didn't happen because he got his Frogadier out. So I think it would have been better if we'd attached the energy to the active. It may not bite us too badly, since we do have Remoraid. We do have a DCE in hand. We can attach that to the active. It would be great if we were able to play Kukui. So we're Abyssal Handing for 1, praying we get some kind of a ball that lets us get a Ninetales, but we don't. So we're going to end instead of Kukuiing. If we had been able to play Kukui there, we would have then been able to take a KO on the active Frogadier. As is, we can do 50 damage to anyone. We'll probably go ahead and put it on the active still, but we really would have preferred to be able to take the KO. And on the downside, Kukui is still in our deck because we had to play in, so we can't VS for it later. You could argue that that attack should have gone elsewhere, because with 50 damage on, this Greninja still has 80 hit points, so he's out of our range for KOing. That's a follow-up turn. We could have put it on the Froakie and been guaranteed a KO next turn, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we see a Silent Lab and an in. There, I was just double checking. Greninja's 130 leaves him with 80. Just double checking my math. We see another Greninja come out. So this is going to be somewhat of a rough match. Our opponent is going to be like totally set up pretty early on. Okay, so we see a Moonlight Slash for the full 80. Okay, so interestingly enough, that is the exact damage we need to take a KO. We can get rid of the Silent Lab. We can get rid of one of our choice bands, just in case we down the line want to attach a Float Stone or something. I'm leaning toward we're wanting to attach to the active, and I'm really leaning toward going ahead and taking a KO with the GX. Yes, he keeps the Greninja in play, but it could be, it would be helpful to take one of, take a prize basically. Yes, we're using our GX attack, but by the time we'd be able to do more than KO Greninja with it, we're in danger of, if math goes wrong, we end up losing. So I think we want to take the KO. I'm tempted to Ultra Ball here and discard the water energy so that we can then Abyssal Hand. But I think maybe we end first. You could have gone either way with that. So here, I'm looking for an Abyssal Hand play again, since we didn't do it yet, but I guess we're just going to go ahead and take the KO. There's nothing that I really want to get rid of. So we'll do that. Get a VS Seeker, which we'll probably use for another in next turn. Kind of feel like I should have Ultra Balled and gotten rid of the energy to try to get an Aqua Patch for the extra attachment last turn. So we do see the Greninja break come out. Now we have to decide how we want to play this. Okay, we see another in. So we'll get 5 fresh new cards to enlighten our day. Okay, we get a Remoraid, we get a Water Energy, and then a Lele and a Sycamore. So part of me likes the idea of benching the Remoraid to try to get to Octillery, and part of me thinks it's too good a target since he now has a Greninja break in play. But it would be a 7th prize. So we'll have to look at what we do. Anyway, he didn't shoot any water shurikens, and he's going to Moonlight Slash. So we just take 60, because he clearly wants to keep his splash energy on. Alright, we'll attach a water energy here. I think we want a Lele, actually, for a Kukui. Right? Because Kukui will let us one-hit KO the Greninja break. He'll save the break card, but he'll just have the one. It gets rid of the splash energy, which will be good for us. And look, we get a Ninetales to boot. Okay, so again, do we want to bench the Remoraid or not? I'm thinking not. So I think we just Blizzard Edge, drop the DCE, and then next turn we can slap on a brand new DCE and go from there. Alright, so of course he promotes a Greninja. We'll probably see the break come right back out. And he also has a Frogadier. I'm guessing he just brought that up. Okay, so he promotes, and then he leaves the break on the bench. That means that we can't do a VS to Kukui. Let me see Sycamore. Okay, so our hand stays like this. That's kind of nice. We can't VS to get Kukui and take a one-hit KO on the benched Greninja break. See super. Okay, now we see another break come out. Okay, so now we will be able to VS for Kukui and take a one-hit KO. We're up to 140 damage on this particular Ninetales. That's a little bit painful. At least we can heal 30 of it away. So now we're 110. Leaves us with 100 hit points. If he's able to do a Water Shuriken or get a Choice Band, then this Ninetales is going down. But otherwise, we'll be okay. We'll live another turn. In either case, we do want to Kukui. We do want to take this KO and actually remove the Greninja break from the game, right? So now the question. I think we can bench Remoraid to avoid... Well, didn't do it. Okay. So... I think we can bench Remoraid. But... I go back and forth. I kind of feel like benching Remoraid would have been better, but I don't know. It could go either way. We get another Vulpix. Our opponent promotes another break, the second/third break that we've seen. And we do not have a VS Seeker in hand. And plays Super Odd to get a whole line basically back into his deck, and a Sycamore to dig for it. Alrighty. No matter what though, he can only get up to Greninja. We see one break and one Greninja are still in the discard. So that's good, and he will take the KO on our Ninetales. So given that... Alright, what are we wanting to do here? We see another Froakie come out. And we see Shadow Stitching to prevent our Octillery from using abilities. So, ideally we would have a Float Stone here. I kind of think he's going to be able to keep abilities off for a while, so we might as well just put Octillery out front and kind of shield our Ninetales. We can use... The reason we didn't want to promote a Ninetales is that we can use the Aqua Patches that are in our hand to get energy back on. So we've only played one VS so far. We've played all of our Ns, and then our Kukui, and one Float Stone. So let's check our deck a little bit. Okay, we have 2 Aqua Patches left, actually in deck. It's kind of tempting to play a Koko. Might we kind of might as well. Because if we can spread some damage around with Koko, that could potentially help numbers, keep us from having to use Kukui over and over. The downside of that, though, is that we do have Rough Seas in play. I guess we'll binge him. And then we'll play Sycamore. And okay, so we got another Ultra Ball. So we could Ultra Ball one of the energies away and then attach both basically with Aqua Patch. Not sure if we want to do that or not. I like the idea. This way, yeah, if we just Ultra Ball both of them, you know, we're that much closer. We'll go ahead, grab the Octillery for next turn, and attach Aqua Patch. I'll put definitely one onto this Ninetales-GX, and the other one I'll put on the other Ninetales. I can see an argument for putting that either place, but ultimately if we get the one on the left into the active, I will discard 2 water energy with the first attack, and then we can just add in 1 more later, but this avoids making him the sole target. Okay, and we see a snipe a shuriken onto the bench Remoraid. I guess when we don't have anything that can do damage, he's free to just snipe the bench a little bit. But if he doesn't do damage, we will be able to draw cards, because he will have to go ahead and stop playing his shadow stitching. So we do see a second break come out, as well as a third Greninja and a Frogadier. And yeah, we get the shadow stitching. So next turn he's likely to just take the KO on Octillery. I think it is worthwhile to go ahead and play our Rough Seas. We'll go ahead and heal Octillery, because why not? And then we could get a Remoraid back, but with our Rescue Stretcher, but I don't know that it's really going to do enough good for us, because he's just going to snipe it again. Same thing's true if we get a Vulpix back. So I think we don't need to get anything back with the Stretcher yet. We probably want to wait until Octillery is not out there and we have the pressure that we can add of having a Ninetales out front. I do think that if we we should have taken a chance maybe to bench Remoraid one of the turns that Ninetales was out front. So if he had taken it out, then it would have cost him more, because he wouldn't have been able to Shuriken our active Ninetales that turn, and we would have been able to ultimately to evolve it probably, but that's neither here nor there at this point. So we still just have Greninja, the fourth one, is in the back. He does just go ahead and take the KO on Octillery, and notably he did not send out any shurikens. So okay, so we get an additional energy. We still have the Rescue Stretcher, but I really don't think we need it. I am going to attach the energy to the active here, just in case we don't get more. That ensures that we can attack twice. And so we could get a Lysandre or a Sycamore. I'm choosing Lysandre primarily so that we get an extra card, because we can't take one prize. It doesn't help or hurt his board state. And we can kind of delay things a little bit. So if we Lysandre up the Frogadier, he doesn't have free retreat, and we know that he doesn't have the additional Greninja out. It's in his discard. He could get it back, but we can use it as a potential stall. If anything, he could have to attach an energy to retreat, which means he wouldn't have that energy to snipe with, and he can't snipe twice either way. So I kind of like that play. He does have the energy. We knew he had it because he had it from his Moonlight Slash the previous turn. But he is not going to be able to use it to do a Water Shuriken. So I really do kind of like that play. Apparently he drew a Water Energy as well, so that wasn't good for us. Okay, that's rough. Alrighty. And does he have more energy? He can't retreat again. VS for a fisherman. Ouch. So he will be able to attack for... He didn't attack. Okay, what can we do with this? So we can Lysandre the benched. We can do the Lysandre play. No. We should have just Lysandred the benched. Oh my god, the benched break. We could have just taken a KO. Oh, goodness. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. We should have just Lysandred there. Why did I do that? I think it was a good play to Lysandre the Frogadier last turn, but this turn I think it was not. So we could VS for a Lysandre now and take out that the break on the bench. And how does that work out? So then he can potentially hit us for 61 to 170 if he has a choice band, which is not enough. So if we had some way to get enough damage out, it would help us. Unfortunately, we probably don't. Okay, but what do we do? What can we do? Alright. If we get another VS, then okay. I mean, we have 2 VS Seekers left out of 10 cards. So that's like a 20% chance that we get it. Does he not? He doesn't have the choice band, so that's only going to be 140. We'll heal it down to... Okay, he puts a Greninja up. And attaches a choice band. Okay. So he sends the energy back. And we're left with 170 HP. Okay. We'll heal. 140, that leaves us with 70. We will get rid of a Dive Ball. I see all of our energy is sort of stuck up top. Okay, so I think we get creative here. I think we're going to Sycamore. We're going to have to take some risks to be able to have a chance here. But if we Sycamore, we'll get... Okay, so I guess he's got a Lysandre and he's going to take us out next turn anyway. Whatever, we'll still try. Okay. So we can retreat and then attach an energy. Let's Field Blower away his Choice Band, and we can get rid of the stadium. So he can't use it to heal. And then we use Float Stone so we don't even lose energy, right? We retreat. He can't take a KO without... Okay, he can't take a KO without Lysandre. He just indicated that he has Lysandre with his Well Played, but we go ahead, we can put 50 damage on his benched Greninja break. And then what? Okay. So he sends it out. He can't retreat it off. We'll be able to take a KO here. Okay. So yeah, he sends out the Shuriken onto the active. Attaches an energy there. We're going to be able to get the KO on the active. This will put us at 140. We'll have 170 left, and he can hit for 80. Oh god, we got rid of our state. We could have had 100 left, and he wouldn't have been able to take his KO, and we would have won it. If not for that mistake, we would have won it. But we're gonna be 20 hit points shy of living through his next attack. Oh well, I guess we take the KO and end up losing 1 prize to none. If we had just not Field Blowered away our stadium. So disappointing. We do even have the VS Seeker. I think we just take it, move on. By the way, the mistake of field blowing the stadium isn't going to win anybody Ninetales-GX, because I saw that mistake while playing. Pretty bad mistake, though. Anyway, he's going to go ahead and take the KO here, and we will wrap things up for this match. Leave comments, like, comment, subscribe, etc. With that, so I didn't actually sign off. Well, I did, but we're back with another match, and you might guess why. It's another Greninja match, so it seems like a perfect thing to fit into this video. We'll have 2 matches in a video for once. Enjoy! Okay, so we see water and colorless. Is this another Greninja match? Okay. What else are we going to see? Okay. Alright. So once again, it's our opponent's first turn. We do get the Vulpix up front. We have a Brigette in hand. We have an in hand. We have a Lele in hand. So that's pretty good. Talonflame comes out. Okay. Well, that makes it pretty obvious. We see Silent Lab and then just Talonflame. That's good for us. Okay, so Brigette. And we'll get a Remoraid. We'll get 2 Vulpix. Okay, let's see. Let's look at our prizes this time. That was a mistake we've made. Oh, we only have 2 Ninetales, so that's 1 prize. We only have... We're missing an Octillery, so that's another prize. Looks like 1 Sycamore, 1 DCE. That's 4 prizes accounted for. 1 Dive Ball is 5 prizes. Not sure what the 6th one is. I guess we'll assume for now that it's water energy. And so we'll go ahead and attach to the active, I hope. Yes. I did it right this time, boys. Okay, Animal Beacon for a Ninetales and an Octillery. You get in the muscle memory of attaching to the bench, because you get in the habit of assuming that the active is going to go down. But you want to identify in the matches when it's not going to happen. And this is one of those where it's not going to happen. We see a bursting balloon. Ah, old school. Okay, and a Sycamore coming out. I guess he had the Sycamore but didn't want to have to play it or something. I don't know. We will go ahead and evolve the active so that he won't get KO'd next turn. And our opponent, of course, with Talent Flame gets to draw 2 cards. We get another useless Lele. And we can evolve into Octillery as well. Okay, so Octillery's abilities aren't shut off by Silent Lab, thankfully, but Lele's are. Kinda think we should Ultra Ball, get rid of. I mean, we can get rid of N and then VS it back. We can get rid of an Ultra Ball and the VS Seeker. It's sort of the same thing. We know we aren't going to VS for Brigette, and that's the only thing in our discard currently. Get our second Ninetales out, and then we'll end. Maybe Octillery first. So evolve, and then we'll Octillery, and then end. You don't want an Octillery for just like a card or 2 if you're going to Sycamore, but it's not necessarily bad if you're going to play in. Well, that's awkward. We would have loved to be able to Ultra Ball away an energy or 2 in there. And here, okay, so if we attack, we do 50 damage onto him and 90 damage onto ourselves. So that means that we would be able to knock him out with our GX. It probably wasn't worth it. Well, now we're up to 140. If we had a Lysandre, that would be clutch, because we could GX and it wouldn't activate the bursting balloon. But as is, we can't do that. Okay, so I guess we're gonna end. Kukui doesn't quite get us there because we can only hit for 70. What does it get us? I would have liked the Lysandre. I guess we'll GX. That might be... Yeah, I think healing ourselves is important. Unfortunately, we played in, so now we don't have the Kukui for next turn, because we could take out the Frogadier as well. I mean, yeah. We can still take it out. We might take out one on the bench instead of the active. We can... Okay. We can Field Blower away the stadium, and then we could get a Kukui, and then we don't have to discard an energy. So maybe we do that. We Field Blower the stadium. Then Lele's live. Yay, Lele! Okay. So, search deck for a supporter card. Yes. What supporter card do you want? I want Professor Kukui. So he will get this Froakie Frogadier line back, but we don't lose an energy with this KO, and it does get us another prize. I guess we might as well attach here too, right? Because we're not going down that quickly, are we? I don't think we're going down quickly enough to regret this attachment. Even if he gets 2 Greninjas and a Choice Band, he's hitting us for 110. We attack back. I guess if he gets 2 Greninjas with both of them having Choice Bands, where that attachment could bite us in the butt. But otherwise, I think we're rocking it. We see another Splash Energy come out. And a Greninja. So, on the upside, he is not going to be able to hurt us in terms of... Okay, so probably going to see a Choice Band. Oh, a Bursting Balloon. Okay. Alright. But only 60 damage because you don't want to discard the... Okay. Okay. So we can evolve to the Ninetales we got off the prizes. Go ahead and stick him there. And we can attach the energy. I'm just trying to decide where to attach it. I think we're going to Lysandre up. Because this way we can actually eliminate it from play, or at least force him to have to get it back. Okay, so if we play, discard the energy, and I guess the Koko, probably aren't going to use him this game. Do we want anything? Well, we don't have our other Octillery, so now we can use Aqua Patch to attach the energy here, and then we can get another couple cards with Octillery, and well, don't need either of those right now. Kind of hoping for an extra energy, but whatevs. Alright, so we will go ahead and take a KO, discarding one of our energies, and getting a Dive Ball. Alright, so most of the cards in our hand don't especially help us. We are going to see a Dive Ball from our opponent, so he is going to be able to get out a break. But, crucially, he does not have anything to back up the break. Now he has the Froakie. But that means he can only become Greninja next turn. He cannot become Greninja Break. As long as he doesn't have a Choice Band, we're okay here. But he has a VS Seeker for our teammates. Okay, so what does that mean to us? If he gets the Choice Band, he can take a KO and not lose the Splash Energy. That's like worst case scenario. What's he gonna get? Eco Arm to get back a Choice Band and 2 burst. So he didn't have any Choice Bands in deck, so he got an Eco Arm and a normal water energy that he can attach and then discard back. But he's still 10 damage shy. Okay, so we can attach this energy to the bench, and then we can Lele, and from Lele we shall get a Sycamore. There's really not a whole lot in our hand. We'd like to get to the point for next turn that we can access some of those other energies. So we'll attach a Float Stone to Octillery, get it out of our hand. Do we want anything back? The only thing that we could potentially get back is Koko. We don't need Koko back. Alrighty. Actually, Koko could have been important, but we're going to go ahead and put out a Rough Seas, or are we? So if he's going to be able to KO the Ninetales either way. So I think we just leave it. We can throw out the Rough Seas next turn to heal if necessary. But this way, he's very close to getting knocked out. The Aqua Patches that we gained there are nice, because they will put us with the ability to attack more quickly once he takes this KO. So he sends a Shuriken to the active, forcing us to promote. And here we're going to send out Octillery, right? Because free retreat, he can put up to 80 damage on it. It's not going to be a KO. It's not going to get him any prizes. And then we can retreat it. And well, if he hadn't had an ace trainer in hand, we would have been able to Aqua Patch energy onto our bench. Instead, we'll just attach and then discard our double colors. We see us shadow stitching. For it, we get another DCE. Okay, so we can attach DCE to the energized Ninetales. We can't play down our stadium now, but that's okay. So I'm looking here. If the Pokemon, it doesn't say that his Pokemon has to be active for that to activate. We're just going to uselessly attach a tool just to thin our deck a little bit. And then we go in here. So my question was sort of whether we should Blizzard Edge or use Ice Blade. And I think Blizzard Edge does slightly more. All we have to do is be able to get an energy next turn, and we'll be able to take a KO. There's no way that the Froakie on the bench powers up in time to do any damage. The most damage he can possibly do with just one is 170. We can live through that. Oh darn, you killed Octillery. Unfortunately for him, we have a DC in hand, and we don't even need it. We don't even need it, but we'll still attach it. So he's gonna, I guess, do his max damage, but his max damage is just 80. So we just attach, and we're good. Ice Blade for the KO. And now, even if he gets a Frogadier up and gets Choice Band on it, so he can get the Frogadier up, obviously. But even if he gets a Choice Band on it, that's 110 damage, and he needs 130. So we're good. We won this one. So, to all the posts that we frequently see about how do you take down Greninja, here's how. Or, our first game would have been an example if we hadn't made like 4,000 mistakes. I think this one was fewer mistakes at least. So hopefully it wasn't. Hopefully there were mistakes in both games, and you guys will point them out, and I'll be educated, and I'll become a better player through that. But with that, we will wrap up for today, for real this time. And like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what I did wrong. And with that, this will be the last video before the review video. Look forward to that on Monday. Thanks.